We're in the last section of chapter 3, which is equations containing fractions. We'll do equations with adding and subtracting first, then multiplying ones, and then a word problem. First, we have adding and subtracting equations. So it tells us to solve these and then write the answer in simplest form. We have x minus 1/5 equals 3/5. So just like the equations we did with decimals or the regular equations, when we have subtracting 1/5, we could add 1/5 to both sides, plus 1 over 5, and then add 1/5 to this side too. So this would cancel each other out. The 1/5 would be canceled. Then we'd be 3/5 plus 1/5. 3 plus 1 is 4. The denominators stay the same in adding. So you'd be left with 4 over 5 for your answer. X equals 4 over 5. This one's a little trickier. We have 7 over 18 plus u equals negative 14 over 27. So we're adding 7 over 18 plus u. So to get rid of the 7 over 18, we could take the opposite of it, subtract 7 over 18, or add the opposite, same thing. So you would subtract 7 over 18 over here. Remember, with adding and subtracting, we have to find common denominators. Well, I know that this one's a little tricky because they're so big numbers, but I know that this goes into 54 if you multiply it times 2. 18 goes into 54 if you multiply it times 3. So that's what we'll do. We'll do 54 for our denominator, and then we'll do negative 14 times 2, so that'd be negative 28. We're subtracting here, and then 7 times 3, because we're multiplying 18 times 3, so that would be 21. So negative 28 over 54 minus 21 over 54. Remember, negatives and minuses are kind of the same thing. So we have a negative and a negative. Same sign, so you add and you keep the negative. So our answer is negative because the negatives, they're both negative. And then we have 28 plus 21. That would be 49. So we'd have negative 49 over 54. And then this might be as simple as it gets because this can't be divided by 3, but this can. This can be divided by 7, but this cannot. So it looks like this is the simplest that this problem can be. So that'd be negative 49 over 54 for our answer. Here we have multiplying equations. And the reason why it's only multiplying and not dividing is because we can just multiply times reciprocals to solve these. So we have 2/3 times x equals 4 over 5. If you do 2/3 times its reciprocal, 3 over 2, something magical happens. You can cross out the 3's, you can cross out the 2's, and then you're just going to get 1. So to get rid of this, we just multiply it times the reciprocal, 3 over 2. But then whatever we do to this side of the equal sign, we have to do to this side. So we multiply this times 3 over 2. So like I said before, these cross off. So we're left with just x. And then we have x equals 4/5 times 3 over 2. So 4 times 3 is 12. 2 times 5 is 10. This can be simplified, divided both by 2, so 6 over 5. Then we can make it a mixed number, so it'd be 5 goes into 6 one time, and then there'll be 1 left over, so 1 and 1/5 for our answer. Here we have this one. 3y equals 6 over 7. So same thing, except remember we can turn this 3y into a 3 over 1 times y. So what's the reciprocal of 3 over 1? That would be 1 over 3. So multiply 1 over 3 times 3 over 1, and then 1 over 3 on this side of the equal sign too. So these cross off. We're left with just y. These would cross off, right? This would turn into a 2, and this would turn into a 1. So we'd have 2 times 1, which would be 2. 7 times 1, which is 7. And then 2 7s would be our answer. Here's our word problem. Pink gold is made of pure gold, silver, and copper. There is 11/20 more pure gold than copper in pink gold, so there's more gold than copper. If pink gold is 3/4 pure gold, what portion of pink gold is copper? So we're comparing two different things, right? We're comparing gold and then copper. And we have an equal sign in the middle. All right, so it tells us that it's 3/4 pure gold. All right, and then we need to find out the copper, C. Well, we know that pink gold has 11/20 more gold than copper. So how would you get this to equal that? Well, if we did adding 11 over 20 for copper, that would get it to equal it, right? Because it was less than by that much. So this would equalize it out. So we're adding 11 over 20. So to get rid of that, then we would subtract 11 over 20 from both sides. So 3/4 minus 11 over 20. And I know that common denominator could be 20 because 4 times 5 is 20. So let's do that. 4 times 5 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15. And then minus 11 over 20. So 15 minus 11 would be 4 20s, 4 20ths. And then this can be simplified. 4 over 20, we could divide them both by 4. So that would turn this into 1, and this would turn this into 5. So 1/5 is the amount of copper in pink gold.